Heading into the summer, free agency was later in the summer, so it was later in July instead of July 1st. So you're getting a little bit antsy when there's kids involved in school and where to live. And Gregory Campbell and Billy Zito called me. I think the first or second day of free agency, later at night. It was kind of a tough sell to say to my wife, let's move to Charlotte. She'd never been. So then you're scrambling for schools and hospitals and trying to find a place to live. So, but I think signing that contract, I knew it was going to be familiar with me. My little brother grew up with Brandon Montour, so that was a familiar name. I played with Bobrovsky in Columbus, so to get there finally, and Paul Maurice was my first coach in the NHL back in Carolina in 2010. So I had some familiar faces that I knew, and then to get there for training camp and to kind of reestablish yourself as a player on a coach that you haven't been with in a while. And then obviously being down in Charlotte, it's definitely a family feel. As far as being an older guy and being kind of on the tail end of your career, I don't think there's a better spot for me. The American League, you want to play in the NHL, that's your final destination. But like you said, being a captain, you're so invested down here as well. So I got called up, but I sat for the first, I think, 3 games. So, and then down here in Charlotte, the guys are in the fight. So I was finding myself watching the iPad, watching Charlotte play while I was in Boston in a hotel room. So it wasn't the easiest thing to do because you didn't feel like you were involved on either side. Obviously, you wanted to be in the fight in Charlotte, but you obviously want to be in the NHL as well. So definitely a weird feeling for sure. You kind of wait your whole career for a moment, your moment, so to speak. Not necessarily in a selfish way, but just when you're going to get your chance to play for something that you've wanted to play for your whole life. So luckily, I knew what the playoffs were kind of like playing in Minnesota back in 2015. But I don't think anything could prepare me for the President's Trophy in Boston. Kind of the hostile environment there. And then you get the tap on the shoulder that you're in, and you're expected to be ready, and I think I was ready, mentally and physically. So like I said, at this point in my career, it was a dream come true to play in the first round even, and then to obviously upset them and keep going on was pretty amazing.
First good shift of the third. Lundell stays after it, Losterinen in front, Dalpe scores! Zac Dalpe, get up here, I gotta give you a hug! We're tied at 4! His first career playoff goal!
Panthers put that energy line out there. Look at the reaction of Zac Dalpe.
I kind of feel like my hockey career flashed before my eyes after that goal. Obviously in the moment that it doesn't, but when you reflect on it, I shot the puck, I think, as hard as I could. I think that was years of grinding and everything was behind that shot. Luckily, it's one of my favorite places to be on the ice as well, so that helped. But you just reflect after the goal, and it's the first round, but it's an elimination game. It was to tie it. So I didn't realize how big of a goal it was until other guys started telling me that. It'll definitely be my favorite goal that I've scored in my career to date. And just a lot of emotions, a lot of people that you reflect on with, your dad, your brothers, your wife, your kids, the list goes on. So I don't know, I guess a feather in my cap, so to speak, for grinding all these years. It's kind of hard to put into words without getting emotional. I don't want to sit here and cry with you guys, but there was like some of the happiest moments in my life, getting to share it with my kids. To skate out to Scotiabank Arena with your kids on the glass, wearing daddy jerseys with number 22 on the back. Yeah, it's definitely emotional. Got some great photos, some great memories. It's something that we'll look back on in years and remember the good times for sure. I'll never forget Maurice said to me before warm-ups, "You're ready to get your name on the cup." It didn't end the way we wanted to. I describe it as heartbreakingly beautiful. But to get a chance to play for it one thing, it makes you hungry to want to get back. And two, it just kind of, I don't know, makes you believe that you can play at that level. You know, like for me, I've been up and down, a journeyman, whatever you want to call me, I'm okay with, because I think at the end I got a chance to play for the biggest trophy in sports. And, you know, no fault to previous NHL teams, but it's the first time in my career I felt like I was part of an NHL group. A lot of that has to do with the guys in that locker room and the coaching staff and the trainers and front office. They made me feel like a part of the group. And obviously it's a special time and everybody's kind of in the fight together, but at the same time, I didn't feel like an outsider and I felt involved, and that's how a dressing room should be. Even though, quote unquote, it wasn't a championship team, I thought it was a championship dressing room, from the front office all the way down, and that's something that I'll remember for the rest of my life.